What's that? But they were saying they should
We're live.
I'll just see. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. This regular meeting of the Township Council is being held in accordance with the scheduled meetings of the Township Council established and adopted by the Township Council, which schedule designated the time, date, and place of this meeting. Adequate public notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. We are using electronic amplifying and recording device in order to obtain a clear and audible record. We request all of those wishing to speak be recognized and state your name and address directly to the microphone. The recording device is to be still utilized by the Township Clerk's Office in preparation of the minutes and shall be the official record of the Township Council meetings. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Hutchison.
Present.
Mr. Smith.
Present.
Mrs. Stubbs. Mrs. Winters. Here. Mr. Mignon.
Here.
Mrs. Trotta.
She's running late.
Mr. Mercado.
Present.
Mr. Lechner.
Here.
Chief Earl.
Here.
Mr. Carlemere.
Here.
Mr. Cardis.
Here. Before we go into the public portion, we have a walk-on. It's yellow, it's on the board. Are there copies in the front there, or are they included? It was posted on the website today.
It's on the website.
As regards to a bid report with excess workers' compensation. Now we'll open up the public portion. Anyone wishing to speak on any agenda item, please raise your hand and approach the microphone. Seeing none, we'll close the first public portion. Bids?
2017 professional services, environmental engineering and license site remediation professional service, and excess workers' compensation.
Okay, entertain a motion to accept the bids. So moved. Is there a second? On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Stubbs. Mrs. Winters. Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes, now we have a waiving of the reading, accept the minutes of the regular meetings of November 28th and December 12th, 2016. I entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Is there a second? Thank you. On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Stubbs. Mrs. Winters. Mr. Mignon.
I abstain from November the 28th and yes to December the 12th.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes to both. Next, we have ordinance, the second reading, and they will all have a public hearing. But before I start, ordinance 0-16-20, the administration to Mr. Cardis has asked me, if council will consider tabling the ordinance for community cat ordinance that would establish requirements for cats within the township of Gloucester. There's some additional information that the animal shelter and also our animal control officer would like to add to this or edit, amend. So they're going to be at our workshop meeting next Tuesday. So I entertain a motion to table the ordinance. Move to table. Thank you. Is there a second? Second. On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Stubbs. Mrs. Winters. Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes to table. Ordinance 0-16-21, to ordinance amending Chapter 81 of the Code of the Township of Gloucester entitled Vehicles and Traffic of the Code of the Township of Gloucester. This section 81-35B is a regulation for movement and parking of traffic on private property. So this will prohibit overnight parking of specific vehicles that are over 3 tons of gross vehicle weight at Commerce Square 1 and 2, Commerce Square 2. These are on Blackwood Clementon Road. Blackwood Clementon Road, the former Eastside Marriott site next to Philomena's, and the Kmart Cherrywood Shopping Center, which I've noticed a reduction in the cars for sale at the parking lot there.
Which is part of this ordinance.
Yes.
It's parking of vehicles with the intent displayed for sale.
We'll open up to a public hearing. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. I entertain a motion to accept the ordinance.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. On the question, Madam Clerk?
Mr. Hutchison.
Roll call.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Stubbs.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters. Yes. Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes. Ordinance 0-16-22 is ordinance amending Chapter 15 of the Code of the Township of Gloucester entitled Police Department of the Code of the Township of Gloucester. This particular ordinance is amended to provide, it talks about the chain of command and the line of authority dealing with our chief of police answering to the mayor and his superior officers, deputy chief captains, so forth and so on. This is some housekeeping that we added to amend the code as presented. I entertain a motion, we'll open up to a public hearing. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. I entertain a motion to accept the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Stubbs. Mrs. Winters. Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes. Ordinance 0-16-23 is the ordinance of the Township of Gloucester, County of Camden, the State of New Jersey, amending ordinance 0-03-03, land development regarding fences, garages, home occupation, fees, etc. As I stated at a previous meeting and at our December workshop, Mr. Lechner, our Director of Community Development, sat down with council and outlined some of the edits that were made to, or amendments made to this ordinance. Setbacks when it deals to fences, and also the height of garages, home occupation. It also will alleviate some of the things that are brought to the zoning board where individuals have to go out and get themselves an attorney or a professional to help them with their zoning board issues. Mr. Lecter, anything else to add to that?
No, that's fine.
Thank you very much. I entertain, we'll open up the public hearing. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. I entertain a motion.
Make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Stubbs. Mrs. Winters. Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes. Next, we have our resolutions of consent agenda. Any individual that would like to move any of these resolutions, please raise your voice. Hearing none, I entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Stubbs.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters. Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
No.
No. Mr. Mercado.
Yes.
.354, resolution authorizing the execution and delivery of agreement between the Township of Gloucester and the Gloucester Township Superior Officers.
This settles the contract between the township and the superior officers for a 3-year period, 17, 18, and 19. I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Stubbs. Mrs. Winters. Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mrs. Prado.
yes,
Mr. Mercado.
Yes.
355, resolution to make budget transfers between appropriations in the calendar year 2016 general fund budget.
I entertain a motion.
So moved.
On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Stubbs.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters. Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mrs. Prado.
yes,
Mr. Mercado.
Next is Resolution -1612-356, resolution authorizing the execution of agreement between the Township of Gloucester and Connor Strong Bucklew Safety National. This is for excess workers' compensation. They were the only individuals that responded to the RFQ. Why we walk this on today is because this is effective January 1st, correct? And if for some reason there was an issue involving our police or any other employee, we would not have protection, or they would not be insured as of January 1st. That's correct. So, is there a motion to accept Resolution 356?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Thank you. On the question, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mrs. Stubbs.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters.
Yes.
Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mrs. Prado.
yes,
Mr. Mercado.
Yes, we did not receive any GTE Gov access emails. We'll open up the second public portion. This is open to any item. Mr. Palvero.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening, Ray.
Hope you all had a nice holiday. Happy New Year to you all. Okay. Real quick question on the walk-on for the workman's compensation that comes effective. And it had to be a walk-on. You didn't know about this any earlier, that this could not have been put on the resolution?
Well, I'm going to respond. I got a phone call at 4:30 while I was bowling, and from Mr. Cardis, and Mr. Cardis indicated that bids came in. Excuse me, this was the only bid that was.
No, what happened here was the proposals from all the professionals for the RFQs came in at the same day and same date, and this was mixed up into the professionals, so the clerk's office did not realize that this needed to be handled separately.
I mean, simply put, I mean,
When I realized it had not been done today, I knew that we had to take action on it immediately.
you owned it. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
Resolution 1612-352 on the wash treatment center or system change order, and I apologize, I could not print out the details of that. How much in addition was that change?
$3 grand. It's $3,444.
Any reason that that was not done within budget? A couple of change orders have come about. I'm just curious if when folks are coming in here and bidding on these things, timeliness and cost effectiveness sometimes seems to go by the wayside. Any reason why? I mean, I understand unforeseen, but when do we start seeing the unforeseen?
I don't have a specific answer for you as to why this came about, but I will tell you it's normal procedure that we do run into change orders, not only on items like this, but on the roads and on the drainage, so.
Who assesses these things?
There's an explanation in here. I want to, before I answer your question.
Sure, go ahead.
This came from Norm Rogers from CES. The change included in this change orders for the removal of machine lists from the vault. No change orders were previously approved for this project. The change orders for work that was not an original contracted item for is an unforeseen condition.
And again, that seems like something they knew which was not included. It's not so unforeseen then, is it?
I mean, I don't deal with wash bays and.
If we're having professionals come in and do these things, when somebody comes to do something at my house, they give me a quote, I contract them to do so. Anything additional, I mean, I'm aware that things happen, you open up a wall and there's a nightmare of aluminum wire that needs to be brought back to code, but some people check into that before. Just a matter of...
And that very well, because what they did is they're in the old Public Works building, they literally dug out all the concrete that was previously there, had to install new concrete, which pitched to a drain to make this thing compliant. So I believe, my understanding is that when they took out that concrete was when they ran into a problem.
And
Okay.
the other thing is this, I mean, sometimes it works for us, sometimes it works against us. If you look at item number 340, there was a $3,000 decrease in that change order. So,
That's for the crosswalk crossing
yeah,
Timber Creek
I mean,
Park.
I think that the experts are doing the best they can. They just run into situations.
This is an important matter. We've been talking about this for years, and this is a wash system that's going to include hazardous material that's going to be drained, correct? And diesel fuel, oil, things that'll get into that.
Correct, and that all has to be separated.
Well thought out, yeah. Okay. I would have expected to hear a eGov question on this, but just throw it out there. I know that this is the end of the year, and usually around March or so, we begin talking about the budget. Any idea whereabouts the budget may be? Nothing I would hold you to, but...
No, because without the annual financial statement unaudited, which is not due until, I believe, February 10th, which I expect to have within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we don't know the revenue side of it. So it's impossible for me to tell you what you want to hear, which is what the implications are with regard to the tax rate.
Okay, now with some of the unspent funds that we've borrowed on and have not used, that we're I think it was Ms. Carr had asked in the past, why not use that money for a new project rather than borrowing new money? Whatever happens to that money, and does it offset the budget?
It does. It goes back to the budget and offset the debt service.
So with the amount of unused funds that we've had this year, might we be looking at a tax decrease?
I can't tell you that.
With the amount of money,
I wouldn't venture a guess on that.
when would that be known? In and about
And
March?
the annual financial statement unaudited.
Time-wise, March, April?
I would think we will have an idea sometime mid-February
Okay.
towards March 1st.
Okay. I'll keep your night short. Have a happy new year.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion. Before we go to appointment of directors, back at our September meeting, I had asked Councilman Mignon to lead up a task force or committee for Field of Dreams. Mr. Mignon had asked for an extension to discuss our Field of Dreams, his findings and the committee's work over the last 4 months at our workshop on Tuesday. Michael, so you can present that at that point. So thank you very much. Thanks for your work on it. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Lechner?
I have nothing to report, thank you.
Chief Earl?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Hutchison?
For all of those who came this evening, Jim, Ray, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Mr. Schmidt?
Thank you for coming out. Happy New Year.
Mrs. Stubbs?
Happy New Year to everyone. Look forward to a fabulous 2017.
Mrs. Winters?
Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully everyone has a great one.
Mr. Mignon?
Happy and healthy New Year to everyone.
Mrs. Trotter?
A very happy and healthy New Year also.
Mr. McConnell?
See how many variations we have on Happy New Year. Have a fantastic New Year. We have a couple things. Martin Luther King Day of Service is January 16th. Our projects are listed on the township's website. We have 25 projects this year. Last year we had 682 individuals that participated. We're probably going to exceed that again this year. So if you have an opportunity, if you want to participate, you can register on the township's website. Our reorganization will take place next Tuesday, January 3rd at 6 o'clock, followed by the workshop at 7 o'clock. And that's on the website, correct? All right. I entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You guys have a...
Uneventful.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, we just passed the board up there.